Dig it.
Slow drag with remedy. Ballyhoo and welcome. The Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and the cruel art of self-reflection, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Pay It Back from My Aim is True, released in 1977. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. And while 1977 seems as if it was about 3 or 4 lifetimes ago, probably because it was, the trajectory that Mr. Costello established for himself in that year continues to skyrocket. This piece exemplifies the preeminent wordsmith who had just the right amount of implied punk angst and a mean poetic streak that has yet to exhaust itself 40 years on. In short, the piece is as fresh and as opaque as it was the day it was pressed into vinyl. Stop, thief, you're gonna come to grief if you don't take a little more care. You're gonna get more than the family plan from this one shoestring affair. I may be crazy, but I can't contemplate being trapped between the doctor and the magistrate. In this first verse, we are immediately met by subverted expectations. The cautioned thief, it turns out, is of a different ilk entirely from the snap vision of a fleeing burglar or robber, perhaps. What then is the crime being commissioned exactly? Is it infidelity? Maybe, and what a way to frame it if so. But that's exactly the fun and the mystery of an Elvis Costello line that he's continually spoiled his loyal listeners with ever since. The answer always seems to be yes, but no, or maybe, right before it slips through our fingers. In the span of 6 lines, we seem to have found 3 imponderables: what the thief is, plus what exactly will come from a shoestring affair. Yes, it does suggest perhaps a shotgun type scenarios in the future, but if that's the case, why is it more than a family plan? If it's simply the family plan, when is real more than real? And finally, how does one become trapped between a doctor and a magistrate? Paternity suits, marriage, unexpected obligations. This is what I mean by as fresh and as opaque as it ever was. It's slanted just enough to keep us guessing, keep us coming back for more. Poetically speaking, this verse is laid out in 3 verses of 6 lines each. And even though the very first line has a clever rhyme internally of thief and grief, notice that this verse has a precise XAXABB structure. That is to say, the first and third lines, grief and plan, do not rhyme. However, care and affair from the second and fourth lines are laid in as a staggered rhyme. Then contemplate and magistrate stitch the entire verse together with its BB structure at the end. What is most remarkable about this provocative structure, in my opinion, is that the rest of the verses in this piece follow the exact same structure. One of these days, I'm going to pay it back one of these days. Is this chorus positioned as an earnest statement or one of revenge? The answer, as stated above, is probably yes, but no, or maybe. It's as catchy and inviting as it is foreboding. And then they told me I could be somebody. if I didn't let so much get in my way. And I tried so hard just to be myself, but I keep on fading away. And then the lights went out. I didn't know what to do. If I could fool myself, then maybe I'd fool you. It's as if the seeds of mystery dance were sown in the fifth and sixth lines of this second verse. This self awareness that borders on self flagellation denotes the confidence and healthy detachment any good poet must have in order to express such complicated yet universal pangs. As promised, this verse is laid out in the XAXABB structure, with somebody and myself in the first and third lines, not rhyming. Instead, they're staggered between the rhyming pair of way and away on the second and fourth lines. The last two lines constitute the BB part of the structure. The last line presents a bit of an acorn situation, meaning I hear something different from what might be intended. If I could fool myself is followed by, then maybe I'd fool you. Yet I hear, if I could fool myself in a minute, I'd fool you. So while I enjoy the possible performance anxiety angle, it continues to astound me how one or two shifted words can make such a big difference. Or maybe not. Do you think there's a big difference created by temporal and hypothetical expressions? Which one do you hear? Maybe I'd fool you, or in a minute I'd fool you. I wouldn't say that I was raised on romance. Let's not get stuck in the past. I love you more than everything in the world. I don't expect that will last. They told me everything was guaranteed. Somebody somewhere must have lied to me. The human condition of the young and the old clash beautifully in this last verse. The world weary, let's not get stuck in the past, is a far cry from the naivete of taking promises at face value, only to have your hopes dashed later. The lament found in the middle part of this verse seems more in line with a present time love interest and how a healthy sense of cynicism starts to form. Hope for the best, but expect the worst, as they say. 6 lines assembled in such a way to dash hope, and then to raise it, and then ultimately to dash it again. It feels bumpy and real, something everyone can relate to, depending on their current condition. How he was able to gather such wisdom, earned or simply observed, continues to astound me. Dig it. Again, this has been a slow drag with Pay It Back from 1977's My Aim is True. At the 2020 Grammys, Mr. Costello mentioned how he was the Billie Eilish of his day. And this makes so much sense. Prolific, appealing, seemingly here for the long haul. The only difference seems to be the society itself from which these two artists entered into. As it stands, sometimes it feels as if the genius of Mr. Costello's music will always remain a giddy secret among those of us who take the time to do a slow drag with each of his 2 to 3 minute masterpieces. Pay It Back is another great example of hard work and dedication to one's craft. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. I love you so much. Other gems from My Aim is True you'll enjoy a slow drag with are episodes 22 and his castanets. That's a slow drag with Waiting for the End of the World. And episode 36, It's the Way That You Walk. It's a slow drag with Miracle Man. And episode 58, All I Ever Do Is Bow. That's a slow drag with no dancing. You can find me on social media and all the usual places. You can also find a link to my first book, The Most Terrible Time in My Life Ends Thursday. Just search for my name, Remedy Robinson, or the name of my podcast, Slow Drag with Remedy. Also, please visit slowdragwithremedy.com for companion blogs, transcripts, and other useful information. And if you'd be so kind, please take the time to subscribe and give this a 5-star rating, especially on Apple Podcasts. As always, thank you so much for helping get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drag with Remedy.